guys, it's Corey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing the DIY skunk stripe. I'm absolutely in love with the way this came out. This was low-key a fail that turned out good because this was supposed to be like a hot fuchsia pink, like you'll see the color in the video, but something like this. They're not really the same thing, but it's close enough and I'm gonna deal with it because I am not a colorist of any kind. I don't really color hair that often. So this was more like one of my first tries of doing something like this, and I'm actually pleased with the way that it came out. I'm pleased with the entire hairstyle, to be honest with you. So I hope you guys really enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Clairol Developer. I used 2 packets, but I kind of spilled the first packet, so that's why it's not being shown. And then I used the Clairol Soy 4-Plex Cream Developer. I used that in the tone or range like 30 Developer. It was extra lift. I probably should have just got the 40 Developer. I didn't really like the way the extra lift worked. Then I'm going to put some aluminum foil under the lace. As you see, I was struggling a little bit getting it to stay under the lace. And I'm going to apply the bleach all over the hair. Okay, so once we reached the second chunk of the hair, I realized that it was easier for me to divide the hair into 2 sections, which I did on this side. So I divided it into one small part for the bottom to evenly apply the bleach, and then I applied the same thing on the top. Once I finished putting the bleach in the lower part, I put the top piece down, and then I applied it to the top as well. As you can see, now I am here blow drying the hair. I did realize that while I was blow drying it, that it did not come out as blonde as I wanted it to. I know it's really hard to bleach 1B hair, so I had to go in and rinse it out, blow dry it, and then re-bleach the hair. So I did 2 rounds of bleach with this hair. Obviously, I knew it was not going to go to a platinum blonde color, but I still wanted it as light as I can get it without drying or frying the hair. So here you can see me doing the second round with splitting the hair like I did the first time, splitting it into 2 sections, doing 1 layer, putting the hair back on top, and doing another layer, so that way all of the hair is getting coated in the bleach.
Just one night, I don't know about your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. I can't stop looking at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment, I think of you every moment.
Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Kiss Temptation Pink Mania color. I just dumped it into a bowl and I took my regular brush and I just applied it all over the skunk stripes. I did apply it on the wet hair. I didn't feel like, redrying it to apply it on wet hair. And in the instructions, it says that you can apply it on wet hair. So I just sectioned off the hair and applied it evenly throughout both sides of the hair. I would be careful with getting this on the lace. It did not tint the lace for me. Well, not fully tint the lace, but I did receive like a small little bit of tint. Nothing that I couldn't shampoo out, but I didn't want to keep shampooing the hair and rinsing the color out since this is only semi-permanent dye. So I didn't want to keep going in with shampoo. So I would say be very careful with the roots and with the lace. It's not going to be fully avoidable, but if you can, try to avoid getting the dye on the lace as much as you can. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with both colors, blue black and black, to try to achieve the perfect jet black. This was recommended to me by my hairstylist friend, so I decided that I was going to take the colors and apply it on the root, since I'm going to watercolor the rest of the hair. But I wanted to just ensure that the roots still got the jet black color, only because I know I'm not going to be able to get all of the wig dipped into the watercoloring because I don't want the pink to touch the black. So I just applied it onto the root so that way when I'm watercoloring the hair, the front is still being processed and dyed. So now I am just making the watercolor mixture. I'm just taking the remainder in the blue black and in the black container, and I'm just dumping it into the hot water. I didn't do it boiling hot. I did boil the water, but I let it sit, so it was like a warm, hottish type feel. And then to get all of the color out, I would dip the container into the water and suck up the water and squeeze it out to get as much of the color out as possible, because this hair was pretty thick and I did want to ensure that every square inch of this hair was covered in the jet black. Okay, so right now I'm just dipping the hair in the watercolor mixture. I just let that sit for roughly, I think, about like 20-25 minutes. And then I'm going to take the silicone mixture that I got from my local beauty supply store, and I'm just going to apply that all over the wig. This stuff is like holy grail to bring your wigs back to life, especially after any bleaching processes or anything like that. I still wanted to make sure that the hair looked and felt healthy. I didn't want it to be like dry and crunchy and brittle, which can happen after you bleach hair. So make sure that you bleach it properly and that you always restore the moisture back to the wig with a good conditioner. Okay, so after blow drying the hair, I did realize that the skunk stripes were not as bright as I wanted them to be. Like I said, I did 2 rounds of bleaching with this hair with the 30 extra lift developer. I probably should have got 40, but it only reached up to like maybe a honey blondish color. So when I applied the pink, it didn't fully go to the fuchsia pink I wanted it to. So I did apply more pink onto the hair after this, but I did not record it. So the color that you see when I'm applying the wig is me after doing the second round of dyeing with the pink. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing my bald cap method. I do use 2 caps. The cap in the back is to hold my ends of the braids, since they do be all over the place if I don't, have anything holding them in. And then the front one is to actually do my bald cap method.
There's nobody else like it.
So now I'm also going to be applying the Ghost Bond glue on my hairline. I do it right before my hairline, so the glue is not on my hairline when I'm pushing it back and spreading it. This hasn't given me any issues. I know most people use the Gots to Be spray. That doesn't really work for me, because if I sweat or anything like that, the cap doesn't last and then the wig doesn't last as long. When I want my wigs to last long, I do use the Ghost Bond spray. I just spread a light thin layer and I make sure it dries completely, and it holds my bald caps all the way down, and it gives me a longer lasting install. So that works for me. If it doesn't work for you guys, or if you guys are a little nervous about trying it because of your edges, then Got to Be spray works just as fine, but it just doesn't work for me. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 2 Fenty foundations and mix them. I believe they're the colors 445 and 385. Just a mixture of me and my mother's foundation. Now when you're applying it, just know that the cap in the back does not show under the lace. I thought that as well, but it does not show. It's completely invisible as long as you put enough foundation and powder over it. Now I'm going to take my even tinted lace spray, and I'm going to apply that to the lace and spray it, and then I take a blow dryer and blow dry it. And now I am just cutting the bald cap off of my forehead as close to the glue as possible. It is completely dry, so now it should give more of a seamless look. Now I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and I'm just going to apply that onto a cotton pad and clean up around the edge line as close to my hairline as possible. Just remove any excess makeup, glue, oil, so that way the glue will stick better to the bald cap and to my forehead. It won't slide back and be oily. And now I know the skunk stripes are not even like I thought they were when I was doing the dyeing process, but trust me, it does not really matter. I did a middle part and I did a side part with the skunk stripes and they both look flawless. It didn't look, uneven or too left over or too, to the right over. Everything was perfectly fine. So now I'm just going to apply the Ghost Bond glue to my forehead right above my cap. I think I applied 3 layers. When I want to make it last a little bit longer, I'll apply about 3 layers. Anything under that, I go to 1 or 2 if I don't want it to last as long. But I wanted this to last pretty long, so I did 3 thin layers.
There's nobody else like you. Oh, yeah. Baby, there's nobody else like you. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I meant to record me putting the wig onto the glue after it all dried, but the camera wound up dying, so I had to put it down because it was already dry. I didn't want the glue to completely dry on my head. As you can see, I placed the lace in front of the glue, if that makes a little bit of sense. Every time I reapply a wig, I always, apply just a little bit closer just to cut off the fraggly ends. I feel like the ends of the lace always get fraggly and like old and used when you reuse the wig, so I just always cut that off. So that's exactly what I did here. I placed it right in front and it always gives more of a seamless new look when I place it that way.
Just one night, I don't know about your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. I can't stop looking at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment, I think of you every moment. I can't stop looking at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment. There's nobody else like you. Oh yeah, baby, there's nobody else like you. Oh yeah, there's nobody else like you.
So now I'm going to use my Edge Booster Pomade Stick. This is basically going to flatten out the part, give me more of a sleek, flat part, and get rid of all of those flyaways. So that way when I use the hot comb on the frontal to define the part, it will look more smooth and sleek instead of just, big and puffy. Okay, so here you see me trying to define a hump in the front. I really wanted to go for that like barrel curl in the face look. So I basically wanted to predefine a hump in the front so that way when it falls, it gives the swoop back, you know, in front of the eye, barrel-ish look, if that makes any sense. You'll see it towards the end of the video when I actually do it, but I had to predefine the hump so that way when I curl the hair itself, everything will be curled and, you know, defined. So here I'm actually pre-parting my baby hairs. I like to cut mine a little bit longer than shorter, only because if I cut the hair too short, then it's gonna look funny. So I always like to cut it a little bit longer, that way I can just cut it as I go if I need to cut it. I always advise that, you know, you undercut then overcut, because you can't really fix an overcut. So now I'm going to take my little baby flat iron and I'm going to undercurl the baby hairs to give that curly effect, so it's easier for me to swoop those edges into place. So I'm just going to take the edge brush and I'm just pre-swooping them to see how they're going to come out, how they're going to look. So I see if I need to re-flat iron it or press it down anymore. Then I'm just going to add my gel and swoop it down.
Just one night, I don't know about you. Your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. I can't stop looking at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment, I think of you every moment. I can't stop looking at you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment. There's nobody else like you. Baby, there's nobody else like you. Oh yeah, there's nobody else like you. Oh yeah, baby, there's nobody else like you. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I didn't show it here, but now I'm just taking a small, like, tiny dot size of bio silk, and I'm just adding that to my hair. That's going to give me more of a smooth, shiny, soft finish when I flat iron or curl the hair, which is what I am doing right now. I typically use the curling iron the correct way in the barrel, but I didn't want defined curls. I wanted a loose type wave effect. So I just curled it outside of the barrel to give the curl wave an effect. And then that way when I comb it out, it'll just look like a messy wave type look.
Oh yeah, baby, there's nobody else like you. Oh yeah.
Okay, so now for this part, this is where I'm now shaping my big barrel curl. I did not curl up the entire hair shaft. I only did halfway. That way the bottom would curl and it would curl and do the big swoop in front of my face like I desired. So I went ahead and did my makeup while I allowed the curls to cool off, so that way they had the curl effect. And now I'm just taking all of the curls down and seeing how they come out.
Let me see it with you. Be honest, can you? Just one night. I don't know about you. Your life.
Okay, so this is the big barrel curl I was talking about. I just brushed the hair back and pushed it forward to give that big barrel curl, hunty. Yes. Alright, so that is the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this DIY skunk stripe fail turned into a beautiful thing that I didn't really mean for it to be video. So if you really did enjoy, I would like for you guys to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next, and also follow me on all of my socials so you guys can always stay connected with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.